What's going on, comic fans? UnrealEntGaming here today presenting my official movie review for one of the biggest blockbuster animated films of the summer, Batman: The Killing Joke. Now, I do want to give a fair warning that this video will contain loads of spoilers, so if you guys don't want to know what happens, simply tune off of the video, go watch the movie, come back so we can talk more Batman: The Killing Joke, in which I will say director Sam Liu did a fantastic job of this movie. We have Mark Hamill, who returned to play as the Joker, and of course we had Tara Strong, with writers Bob Kane and Bill Finger, who did a fantastic job of the film. Now, I will say this film started off with two very solid stories, in which case I will get into right now. Also, big shoutouts to Comic Book Fan at 1992 for providing me the link to watch this film. Again, the movie drops in about 2 days, or at least locally in some theaters. So again, Mr. Comic Book Fan, thank you so much for the link. Now, the movie, of course, kicks off with a bank robbery. We have Batgirl and Batman, who are pretty much on the hunt, and we see these two gentlemen. They're inside of a truck. They're trying to get away with the money, and we see Batgirl, who pretty much tries to interrupt their schemes. And to make a very long story short, the two gentlemen within the truck manage to get away, and Batman and Batgirl are left with one surviving bank robber who just happens to be interrogated by Batman. So they're trying to figure out what exactly is going on, and obviously, you know, Gotham is being hit by bank robberies and lots of crime going on, and we dive further into the story with Batman trying to keep Batgirl away, I guess, from certain situations and not have her be involved with certain investigations, and of course, especially from one person known as Paris France, who is a narcissistic sociopath who is a complete nutjob, and obviously Batman knows that Batgirl is inexperienced with people like that, so he wants to keep her as far away as possible, but Batgirl pretty much failed to stop him from stealing more money, and we pan on over to, you know, Barbara, who is pretty much trying to investigate further as to who this Paris guy was, and we see that Paris is about to hit up another bank, and so she tries to go on ahead and stop him by herself, and of course she fails. She gets put to sleep and whatnot. We see Batman and Batgirl pretty much have an encounter afterwards into pretty much you know, who Paris is and what he's all about, and of course with Batman solidifying his ground rules and not allowing Batgirl to make her own decisions, which we see kind of a conflict going on between Batgirl and Batman, because Batgirl wants to do these things. She wants to go on ahead and apprehend Paris and bring him into custody, but of course Batman is telling her that she is inexperienced by going into the abyss and having to see what it's like to be there and whatnot, and of course an argument ensues, but needless to say, even prior to that, we see Paris gain access to all of his uncle's offshore accounts, which again, his uncle having to be one of the biggest mobsters, one of the biggest kingpins, I guess you could say, within Gotham, and Paris actually had a motive to steal his money, which one of the reasons was why he was able to receive and gain access to all of his accounts. So obviously enough, he also knew of Batgirl, and every single time he would engage with her, he would bait her in, and Batman already knew that, you know, Paris was using Batgirl, and obviously Batgirl was falling for his traps, and so he pretty much wanted her to stay as far away from Paris as possible, because Batman wanted to be the one to get the job done. But of course we pan on over a few minutes later, and we see that Paris actually killed his uncle and revealed it to Batgirl as he lured her in to the place where they met, to where he can actually expose to her like what he's all about, and so Batman wants Batgirl to cease against all actions against Paris, and even after that incident with her encountering Paris, with Paris pretty much trying to put her to sleep, you know, she went crazy on Batman. She went crazy on Batman, saying that all of his decision making doesn't make any sense, and the things that he's doing is pretty much unjust in her eyes, because she wants to also contribute and she wants to help. And Batman is telling her, Batman's like, you are inexperienced, and if you don't like it, you can leave. And being that Batgirl is very proud, she tells Batman, I'm in this for the long run, you can't tell me what to do. And that's when Batman's like, you should just leave, like, right now. And then of course she attacks Batman, and you know, it's pretty funny because we see how the love-hate relationship between Barbara and Batman are, and especially after they fought, because after she was able to take Batman down, she immediately proceeded to kiss him, and they had sex, and of course, you know, the following day we see Barbara, you know, just staring at the mirror, and she's like, Barbara, what have I done? You know, obviously she feels as if she made mistakes, and the funny part about this was the fact that she was able to tell this other character who's been bothering her and harassing her about dating her that she finally had sex with, you know, the guy that she's been seeing the entire time. And with that, I would have to say halfway throughout the film, we see Paris pretty much lure Batman near the dock area where he attacked him with rocket launchers, of course, and Batgirl made the save to help Batman out, because he was in a situation where he was bleeding from his rib cage. He had no other other, you know, ways of just, you know, having to go about because he was bleeding, he was hurt, and Batgirl pretty much saves the day by helping Batman, and she literally beats Paris unconscious. She beats Paris unconscious, and that's what she realized, you know, what she had done, and Batman is overlooking her actions, and obviously she was very, very violent towards Paris, given the fact that she finally got her quote-unquote revenge for pretty much messing with her the entire time, for making her feel a certain way throughout this entire investigation of capturing this man. And so I would have to say the first half of the story was told already from Batman and Batgirl's perspective, and then we pan on over with Commissioner Gordon, pretty much allowing Batman to come on by an investigation site to where Batman noticed that there were a couple of people that have died exactly 3 years ago, and during this entire investigation, Batman found and investigated that all of these people had smiles on their faces, and they were all pretty much preserved. And of course, with that, Batman had a lot of questions, so he went on ahead to go pay Joker a visit at one of the prisons, thinking that he was there because he wanted to know if all of this was a bluff. And we pretty much get to the prison to where Batman is talking to a supposed Joker, who's pretty much putting all these cards down the table. And when Batman grabs him and he realizes that it's not Joker, he finds out that in fact Joker has been released yet again, and he pretty much tells the person impersonating Joker, "Do you not know what you've done? Like, you've let loose a maniac here. Like, this can't be right." So we pan on over to Joker's backstory. Now, this was very, very captivating to me because for the first time ever, we get to see, you know, Joker's backstory of him being a comedian. And, you know, pretty much by blowing a punchline, he came home, he felt bad about, you know, his comedy act and whatnot, and so he comes home to his pregnant wife. And it's pretty interesting because Joker's backstory is needed to prove himself as a husband and a father, that by earning money to easily help support his family, and he wanted his wife and his coming baby to, you know, live a good life, and he felt as if he was a failure. He felt as if the entire time he was trying to be a comedian, he was flopping, nobody was laughing, which explains a lot actually. So we pan it over to Barbara and her father in the house, and they get a knock on the door, and as soon as Barbara opens the door, the real Joker shoots Barbara, which is Batgirl, in the abdominal area, and causing her to just completely go flying through a glass table. And the end result of that was Barbara can never walk again, which was pretty crazy because she was paralyzed. And of course, Joker wanted to prove a point the entire time, in which case we get to towards the end of the film. But even with that, we get to see more flashbacks of Joker pretty much forced to use Red Hood's mask to get inside of the chemical plant for these two guys, because obviously enough, he wanted to do like somewhat of a hit to get more money. But even while doing that, even while negotiating this hit to work with these guys on Friday at 11 p.m. because they wanted to do it at that particular time, on that day, on the night to where they're supposed to actually commit the hit, Joker receives information that his wife died alongside the baby on the same night as the arranged chemical break-in. So that pretty much damaged Joker so much that it caused them to just be numb. And so we actually get to see on the night to where they actually perform the hit, you know, these guys never gave a shit about, you know, Joker. They never gave a shit about how he felt. They put the Red Hood mask on him, and they broke into the chemical plant, and of course Joker is permitted to help alongside the two men into carrying on their plan. And that's when Joker was pretty much going through a lot. We see the security guard shooting at them. The two guys that Joker was with got killed, and Joker's trying to escape. Obviously he's wearing the Red Hood mask, and Batman shows up, and Batman's like, it's been a long time, and Joker's like, I don't know what the hell is going on. So, you know, out of fear, Joker goes over the rail and into one of the chemical sewages to where he's ejected out of the chemical plant. And as soon as he takes the, you know, the Red Hood mask off, he's coughing, he's saying that he's itchy all over. And then there's a moment of silence. And of course, with that being said, we see him laugh, and then he's laughing just very menacingly, and he's holding on to his head, and we see blood coming down his eyes, we see blood coming out of his mouth. And of course, that was the very night that Joker went absolutely crazy, having to bear in mind that your wife and your kid died, having to bear in mind that you were just shot at. He fell in some chemical wastewater, so it drove him nuts. And the entire time, you know, he managed to capture Commissioner Gordon. He put him in the cage. He pretty much wanted to lure Batman near this amusement park and pretty much have one final showdown with him. And you know, Batman gets there. Batman's, you know, following all the clues. He finds Commissioner Gordon, and Commissioner Gordon's saying, you know, do it by the book. We need to apprehend him. And while Batman is inside of the amusement park trying to look for Joker, Joker's telling Batman, I mean, like, what's the point of putting me back into the asylum if me and you both know that it's just gonna fail again, it's not gonna work. And he's telling Batman about all these things will make him different. And that's when he pretty much flat out confesses that it drove him crazy. It just drove him crazy, and he's literally beating Batman down to the point where, like, he was kicking him in the face, he was punching him in the face, he was just like throwing pots and pans at him. And Batman managed to pretty much like spear, you know, Joker through a window. And then as soon as they went outside, Joker pulled out a gun. And of course, when he pulled out the gun, we all thought he was gonna shoot Batman, but it turns out to be a fake gun. And on top of the gun, it said click, click, click. And that's when Joker was like, you know what, just do it, just finish me off, like, whatever. And at that very point, we see Batman stand up, you know, having to be injured and whatnot. He approaches Joker and he says, it doesn't have to be this way, I can help you, you don't have to be alone, just come with me, I can rehabilitate you. And Joker's like, it's already too late for that, you know, like, there's no need for you to do that. So for the first time in a very, very long ass time, these two are civil. And that's when Batman offers his help. He extends his hand. He's like, I don't want to fight you anymore, I don't want this to keep going on, you know, one of us is bound to kill the other, but I don't think it's ever gonna happen, you know, we can work together and we can, you know, change things. And Joker's like, you know, it's kind of too late for that, you know, things are the way they are. And at that given point, that's when he pretty much told Batman, like, you know, this reminds me of a joke. And he began to tell Batman this joke, and towards the very end of the joke, he just said, oh, excuse me, and he started laughing. And right then and there, it was something that I've never seen before. We see Batman and Joker, like, pretty much, like, you know, right in front of each other, and they were both laughing. They were both laughing at Joker's joke, which was very, very cliche in a way, but nobody ended up dying. Joker didn't kill Batman, Batman didn't kill Joker. We just kind of see them standing there laughing at, you know, the joke, which, again, like, you see a little bit of humanity within Joker. I would have to say this movie was very, very dark as well. A very, very good film, in my opinion, at least. I haven't watched a good Batman animated film in a very long time, and having to see this, I was very curious to see, you know, how this was all going to go down. And towards the very end, you know, like, it was really unexpected to see the way Joker was very civil with Batman, because he told Batman it was far too late. And Batman even told Joker, like, I don't really know what made you pretty much lose your mind, I don't know what happened to you, I don't know your name, I don't know anything about you, but you don't have to be alone, I can help you. And Joker's like, you know what, it's too late for that, but you know, this reminds me of a joke. And then we just ended off right there. So I will have to say that even with DC Rebirth right now, with all the alterations happening with the Batman story, with there being 3 Jokers now, things are going to get pretty crazy. I really hope that this continues. This was supposed to be somewhat of the be-all, end-all right here, but I'm pretty sure that at some given point, they may go on ahead and continue. It was a very captivating story. It had to involve 2 different stories, I believe, with the first half of the film and, of course, with the second half of the film. But overall, I would have to give this movie a 4.5 stars out of 5. It was very, very entertaining. And again, guys, leave your thoughts down below as to how you guys felt about the film. Did you guys enjoy the film? Did you guys hate the film? What were your thoughts on the ending, of course? Leave your thoughts down below. Once again, guys, thank you all for watching. If you guys are comic book fans, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more content like this. If you guys enjoyed the review, leave a like and a rating, all that good shit down below. And also, what were your favorite characters of this film? Did you guys prefer Joker more than Batman? Did you guys prefer Batman more than Joker? Who do you think had the overall best performance? In terms of story, guys, I think the story was very, very solid. Batman having to seek answers, having to look for Joker, Joker escaped, Joker trying to capture Batman again, but then again, like, nobody really attempted to kill the other person. We get to see that, you know, obviously Joker was holding back a lot against Batman, and Batman was holding back a lot against Joker, in which case he even told him towards the very end, we don't have to kill each other, but at some given point, like, we have no other option but to do so. But at the very, very end, of course, like, nobody really dies off. So it was a very captivating film. I would have to say, go ahead and watch it. So again, everybody, thank you all for watching the review. I truly hope you guys enjoyed. Tune in for more, and I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Take it easy, guys. Peace.